Have you ever felt that subtle, almost imperceptible shift when a woman's gaze, once full of warmth, now holds a quiet distance? It's not a sudden withdrawal, not a slammed door, but something far more delicate, a fading, like twilight deepening into night. We often speak of trust in general terms, a belief in words, in actions. But its absence, that quiet erosion, manifests not in loud arguments, not in overt accusations. It reveals itself in barely discernible changes within the energetic field that flows between a man and a woman. It's a space, a sacred current where intimacy resides. When this current begins to falter, it's not merely a lack of faith in what is said. No, it is a retreat of an invisible stream, a thinning of that living thread that once connected hearts. You might feel it as a faint chill where warmth once pulsed, a slight hesitation where ease once flowed. Her eyes, perhaps, still meet yours, but the depth is altered. A veil, fine as mist, has settled. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. It's about feeling into the subtle language of the soul. For between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This life current, this energy, thrives on trust. Not just trust in honesty, but trust in presence, in understanding, in the unspoken embrace. When this emotional trust begins to wane, it's a profound signal. It tells us that something essential in the energetic exchange has become misaligned. It's as if the music between two souls has lost its harmony, its rhythm. The melody is still there, perhaps, but the resonance, the deep vibrational connection, has softened. This quiet distance in her gaze, it is not an end. It is a communication, a whisper from her spirit, inviting you to listen more deeply, to feel more profoundly. It asks for a presence that transcends mere words, a presence that can mend the subtle tears in the fabric of connection. It calls for a return to the reverence for that invisible current, the very force that allows us to truly see and feel one another. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex in the physical sense alone. We lose vitality. We lose the creative spark. We lose the very essence of inspiration that true intimacy ignites. This subtle shift, this quiet withdrawal, is an invitation to understand that desire is the language through which the soul speaks. And when that language is muffled by doubt, the soul itself begins to recede. A woman doesn't lose her warmth easily. Her very nature is to radiate, to nurture, to connect. When that warmth begins to cool, it's not an absence of love, but often an absence of the felt safety that allows her love to flow freely. It is a signal calling for a deeper understanding of the energetic dance that binds us, a call to remember the sacredness of the space between. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We speak of intimacy, of connection, but often we miss the deeper currents that sustain it. What truly happens, my friend, when the delicate thread of emotional trust begins to fray between a man and a woman? It's more than just a quiet disagreement or a moment of misunderstanding. It's a profound shift in the very flow of life itself. Imagine, if you will, the shared space between you as a river. A vibrant, flowing river where both your energies mingle, nurture, and create. It's where passion dances, yes, but also where comfort settles, where understanding blossoms, where dreams are whispered into being. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This river carries the very essence of your shared existence. But when a woman, in her deepest core, begins to feel unsafe, When the trust that allows her heart to be truly open starts to recede, something elemental occurs. It's not a conscious decision, often, it's an ancient, instinctual response. She doesn't merely close off a part of herself, she begins, quite naturally, to withdraw her vital force. Her sacred feminine, that wellspring of intuition, creativity, and deep feeling, instinctively pulls back from the shared current. Where does this energy go? It doesn't vanish, it simply stills. It creates a quiet eddy, a pool of unspoken experience that no longer contributes to the shared flow. Have you felt it? That subtle shift? That sense of a presence that is there, yet not entirely present? This withdrawal isn't a weapon or a punishment. It is a sanctuary, a wall perhaps, built around her inner temple to protect what feels vulnerable, what has been bruised by unspoken hurts, by fears of being truly seen and then, perhaps, dismissed. This is where the deep energetic blocking begins. When energy is blocked, we don't just lose intimacy, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrant pulse of life that once coursed between us. It manifests not always as anger or drama, but often as a quiet fatigue that settles over everything, a pervasive, unexplained apathy. The world itself seems to lose a shade of its color, a whisper of its song. Do you recognize this feeling? This sense of a subtle dimming, a fading of the light that once shone so brightly in the space between two souls? It's not her fault, nor yours. It's simply the echo of an unmet need, a silence that has grown too vast. The longing for safety, for understanding, for a space where her vulnerability is not just tolerated, but cherished. When that space diminishes, the feminine spirit, in its wisdom, conserves its precious essence. It retreats, not out of malice, but out of self-preservation. And in that retreat, the river of shared life begins to run shallow, leaving behind a subtle, aching emptiness. A quiet sadness, perhaps, for what was and for what feels lost. But the energy itself, it hasn't died. It's simply waiting for the conditions to return, for the ground to feel firm again, for the space to be safe enough for it to flow once more. It's a silent plea, a profound wisdom speaking through the stillness. And understanding this, understanding where the energy truly goes, is the first breath on the path back to its awakening. We speak of connection, don't we? Of understanding. And sometimes we feel a quiet ache, a longing for something that seems to have slipped through our fingers, like sand. We wonder why the vibrancy, the sheer aliveness that once pulsed between two souls seems to dim. But what if what we seek is not lost, merely obscured? What if the key lies not in grand gestures, but in a subtle, profound current that flows unseen, yet shapes everything? Let us immerse ourselves then in the very essence of this energy, this current. It is more than just feeling, more than just words. It is the living, pulsating river of emotional trust that flows between hearts. You see, between a man and a woman flows not just passion, not merely desire, but life itself. A current so fundamental, so vital, that when it is vibrant and clear, it becomes the very source of our being. It is the breath that fills our sails, the warmth that awakens the garden of our spirit. This emotional trust, it is not simply a psychological construct, a concept we discuss in therapy. No, it is a sacred current, a living, breathing energy. Imagine it as a subtle, luminous thread woven from mutual respect, from vulnerability honored, from presence truly felt. When this thread is strong, when this current flows unimpeded, it transforms everything. It nourishes creativity, allowing ideas to bloom with an effortless grace. It sharpens intuition, guiding us with an inner knowing that transcends logic. It ignites inspiration, transforming the mundane into the magnificent. And perhaps most profoundly, it allows us to feel the sheer, unadulterated fullness of being. To experience life not as a series of tasks, but as a symphony of sensations, a dance of unfolding beauty. This is not sexual desire in its ordinary, often fleeting understanding. No, this is something far deeper, far more expansive. It is a profound, sacred desire to live, to create, to be fully present in every fiber of our being. It is the soul's hunger for expression, for connection, for truth, and it reveals itself in the most exquisite ways. When a woman feels this emotional trust, truly feels it, deep within her bones, her being begins to unfold. It is like a delicate flower drawing in the life-giving warmth of the sun, slowly, deliberately revealing its innermost beauty. She breathes deeper. Have you noticed? When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her chest expands, her shoulders soften, her entire posture subtly shifts. It is not just oxygen filling her lungs, it is the current of life itself, moving freely, revitalizing every cell. Her body, which may have felt stiff or guarded, becomes more alive, more fluid. There is a subtle softening, a quiet surrender, a gentle reclaiming of its innate wisdom. It is as if the very cells remember their natural state of receptivity, of openness. She moves with a newfound grace, a quiet power that emanates from within. This is not a performance, it is an authentic expression of her reawakened vitality. And her intuition, her intuition sharpens. It becomes a beacon, cutting through the fog of doubt and confusion. She begins to perceive truths that were once hidden, to understand unspoken languages, to feel the subtle nuances of the world around her with heightened sensitivity. This isn't magic, it's the natural consequence of her inner channels clearing, of her connection to the deeper currents of life being restored. Her inner voice, often muffled by fear or uncertainty, grows clear and resonant. She trusts herself more because she feels trusted. This unfolding, this blossoming, is a manifestation of the divine spark that lives within us, a sacred flame that yearns for a safe, nurturing space in which to burn brightly. For this spark to truly ignite, to truly illuminate our lives and the lives of those around us, it needs the fertile ground of emotional trust. It needs the quiet knowing that it is safe to be seen, safe to be felt, safe to be cherished. When that safety is present, the energy flows. It isn't forced, it simply is. It moves through us not just as pleasure, but as potent creative force, as healing balm, as profound understanding. It is the wellspring from which all true intimacy springs. Perhaps you felt this fading, this quiet longing for intimacy to return. It begins here, not with grand gestures, but with the subtle tending of this sacred current, with the gentle cultivation of trust, of presence, of seeing the other not just with your eyes, but with your soul. For desire is not the body calling alone, it is the soul singing. And when that song is heard, truly heard, in an atmosphere of trust, it reverberates through every facet of our existence. It reminds us of our own inherent sacredness, and the sacredness of the life that flows between us. So, let us simply breathe. Let us listen to the quiet current within, for in its gentle hum, we find the answers we seek, the answers to why passion might fade, and how intimacy, true, soulful intimacy, can not only return, but deepen into something more beautiful than we ever imagined. It is a journey into the heart of life itself, guided by the quiet strength of trust. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We spoke, didn't we, of the silence that settles when trust falters, of the unseen current that dims between two souls. Like a vibrant river slowly receding from its banks, leaving behind a parched bed where life once thrived. We felt the quiet ache of disconnection, the lingering nostalgia for a time when intimacy flowed as freely as breath, the profound, almost visceral longing for what once was, for what could be again, a spontaneous dance of spirits, a communion beyond words. But when that vital flow seems to slow, to stutter, to become a mere trickle, or to cease altogether, when the very pulse of shared life feels muted, absent, what then? How do we mend this delicate yet utterly fundamental thread? How do we invite that sacred current, that life-giving energy, to flow once more, with its full, vibrant, undeniable force, rekindling the light in both hearts? It is so tempting, isn't it, to reach for the familiar tools of the mind, to seek out strategies, techniques, a precise map to navigate the labyrinth of the heart, to search for a formula, a set of instructions, a clever turn of phrase, a cunning manipulation that might unlock the door to her guarded spirit. But this path, this profound journey back to connection, this is not a journey of mere doing, not a quest for control, nor a tactical game to be won or lost with clever maneuvers. No, this is something far more profound, far more subtle, and ultimately, far more truthful and enduring. It is a return to the source of all authentic connection, a homecoming to the deep well of being that resides within us all. It is a path of deep, unwavering presence, a conscious, mindful homecoming to the... And so, we find ourselves at a crossroads, don't we? When that delicate thread of emotional trust frays, or even breaks, it can feel like a profound, echoing loss. A silence descends where once there was a vibrant symphony of shared understanding, a quiet retreat from the warmth of knowing another deeply. We might interpret this as an ending, a failure, perhaps. The heart can ache with the weight of what seems to have been lost. But what if we were to shift our gaze, just slightly? What if this pause, this quiet unraveling, is not a termination, but a sacred invitation? A deep, resonant call for something more, something true, something enduring. Consider this. When the outward forms of connection falter, when the bridge between two souls seems to tremble, it is often because there is a deeper current within us, within each individual heart, yearning for attention, for gentle realignment. The fading of intimacy, the quiet receding of passion, these are not merely signs of decay, not simply the erosion of time. No, they are often signals, whispered by the soul, that our living energy, our very essence, has become disconnected, blocked. We forget, perhaps, the most fundamental truth, that between a man and a woman flows not just passion, not merely desire, but life itself. It is the very current of creation, healing, and profound understanding. And when that life current slows or meets an obstacle, the entire landscape of our being begins to reflect it, often in the quiet spaces of our most intimate connections. This moment, when a woman's trust recedes, is not the end of a story. It is, in truth, the potent beginning of another, an opportunity for profound growth, for a deep alchemical transformation. It asks us to look inward, to explore the sacred architecture of our own being, to remember the inherent divinity that resides within, to understand that the very energy we seek to share with another, the very depth of connection we yearn for, must first be rekindled, honored, and understood within ourselves. It is a journey from fragmentation back to wholeness. We speak of desire, often with a whisper, sometimes with a blush, sometimes with a sense of unease. But let us reconsider. Desire is not merely the body calling for physical release, a primal urge to be satiated. No. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is the deep longing for connection, for wholeness, for the vibrant dance of life within us to express itself fully, uninhibited. It is the universe remembering itself through our very cells. When this energy, this sacred current, is blocked, when we hold back parts of ourselves out of fear, out of past hurt, out of misunderstanding, out of the armor we have built around our hearts, we don't just lose sex. We lose vitality. We lose that inner spark that makes life vivid, that fuels our creativity, that allows us to truly feel the exquisite tapestry of existence. Our days become dimmer, our purpose less clear. Think of it, feel it within you. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, life breathes with her, flowing through every cell, awakening her innate wisdom, her profound capacity for feeling and intuition. And when a man allows himself to look with wonder, not just at the external world, but at the sacred fire that burns gently within his own being, he doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he closes himself off to the mystery of his own unfolding. The journey to rekindle intimacy with another often begins with rekindling this sense of wonder, this reverence for the living energy, this sacred life force within ourselves. It is a reacquaintance with the most essential part of who we are. This path, this reawakening, is an invitation to embrace and reclaim the sacredness in our connections, yes, but even more importantly, in ourselves. It asks us to confront a subtle, often unspoken fear, the fear of our own power, the fear of our own vulnerability. We are taught, perhaps, by a world that values strength over tenderness, that to be truly powerful, we must be guarded, unyielding, impenetrable. But true power, the kind that flows like a river, that nourishes and transforms, is found in surrender, in the courage to be fully present, fully open, fully human, with all our glorious imperfections and our boundless capacity for love. It is the courage to shed the armor and stand in the soft light of our authentic self. When we cease to fear this profound dance of power and vulnerability within us, when we embrace the wild, untamed beauty of our own living energy, something profound shifts. The dam breaks. Life begins to flow again, not just trickling, but surging with a renewed vibrancy, a deep, resonant pulse. It brings with it a renewed sense of joy that bubbles up from an unexpected source, a vibrant wellspring of creativity that finds new outlets, and a depth of intimacy that transcends mere physical contact. It becomes a communion of souls, a sacred exchange, where each touch, each glance, each shared breath is infused with meaning. This journey is not just to another. It is fundamentally a journey to yourself, to the deepest currents of your own being, to your own living energy. This energy, this vital force that animates every cell, that fuels every dream, that whispers every truth, that connects you to the vastness of existence, it has never truly left you. It has never died. It is not something you acquire or regain from an external source. No, it is inherent. It is your birthright. It simply waits. It waits for your conscious touch, for your gentle awareness to turn inward. It waits for your deep breath, drawing life into every corner of your being. It waits for you to remember that attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself, calling forth its own reflection. It's the magnetic pull of life calling to life, a sacred echo across the cosmos, resonating within you. This remembering is a gentle process, a quiet unfolding. It asks for patience, for compassion towards yourself. It asks for kindness, for the grace to allow your own healing to unfold at its own pace. It asks for a quiet moment of stillness, often in the deep hush of night, where you can feel the subtle hum of life within your own body. Feel the pulse, steady and true. Feel the warmth spreading through your limbs. Feel the quiet stirrings, the gentle awakening of sensation. This is the energy. This is you. It is the return of meaning, the rekindling of inspiration, the resurgence of strength. Let this understanding settle deep within you. Let it become a warm ember in your heart, glowing softly, steadily in the quiet of the night. You are not broken. You are not depleted. You are simply on the precipice of a profound awakening. An awakening to the truth of who you are, beyond the roles you play, beyond the stories you tell yourself, beyond the hurts you have carried. You are a vessel of magnificent, creative, healing energy, a sacred conduit of life itself. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.